Just explain a little more about the thinking behind this decision.
Well, I think I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, really. It's a very, very difficult situation to find myself in. I think you have a track which I believe is disrespectful. It is not a political track. It's not shipbuilding or I was a miner. It is actually a personal attack on an individual who has just died. And but on the other hand, if I ban the track, then you have arguments about censorship and freedom of speech. So I also took into account as well the very difficult scenario of the fact that there's also a grieving family involved here who have yet to bury a loved one. So those sort of elements were in my thinking to come up with this decision that I would play not the track in full, but a clip of the track within a journalistic environment.
You're saying that you have not banned this, but if you're not going to play it in full, that's effectively what you've done.
Well, no, I haven't, because I think I have a duty to inform and educate the audience about this campaign. And this campaign, have decided to buy this track to put out their point of view. It is an historical fact, and we need to reflect that historical fact. But I am not going to play
Sorry,
it
I'm
in
getting
full.
confused, because this is the official chart show. Mm-hmm. That's the beginning and end of it, isn't it?
Well, no, because Radio 1 has to make decisions on a daily basis about taste and decency in records, whether that is swearing or imagery within a track. And we often edit tracks, or we often decide to not play a track at a certain point in the day.
Which bit, out of interest, are you planning to play? Because you're saying you're going to play part of it. Which part?
So we will take a decision that when the track is announced, whether that is number one, we will have to wait and see, that the presenter will introduce a journalist who will then put it into context. We will hear different views from the audience about whether or not they think we should have played it, and then they will play about a 4 or 5 second clip of the tune. Which precise 4 seconds, I will leave that to the journalist.
4 seconds?
4 or 5 seconds, just to illustrate the point and make it a record.
Do you not think that the position you've ultimately come to is simply a fudge?
Well, no, I believe it's a compromise. And I hope that your audience realise the complexities and emotional arguments on both sides of the fence, which means that I believe I've come to a logical decision.
But the point is, it's either offensive and inappropriate, or it's not. And you appear to be trying to find a position somewhere in between.
I am trying to find a position in between. I do find it disrespectful. I do find it that it is a personal attack on an individual who is yet to be buried. And I find but I'm also aware that on the other side of the fence, you have some very fundamental questions about freedom of speech, the right to demonstrate, and I don't want to get involved.
But that's the point I was going to come on to. I mean, what about the rights of people who buy music? And this is the official chart show. What about their rights in this, if they're not going to hear the full track?
Well, I believe the track is only 52 seconds long.
Whatever the length of it.
But I think that in the past there have been many campaign records, records that have gone to number one, like Killing in the Name Of, and we took an editorial decision on that track to edit it because it had 17 F words in it. So we're always making difficult editorial decisions on a daily basis.